Stand up, go over there.
No, not stand up, go over there. She's excused from the court unless she's on the docket. And if she's on the docket, she needs to go into custody. But you cannot go back to living your regular life because your regular life is gang affiliation and it's drugs. All right, you know you're not supposed to have weapons. Why do you have weapons?
I made a mistake, Your Honor.
No, you didn't. You made a choice.
I hit rock bottom. When I came in here, I was like, you could see my bones from my face. I don't want to go through that again.
When gang life meets Judge Boyd, there's no room for excuses. These are the top 5 gang-linked defendants who faced her courtroom.
But we can't have that in court because when that happens in court, you know what ends up happening? Everybody gets angry, and then the next thing you know, they're fighting. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
How are you employed?
I'm currently unemployed at the moment.
Any drug use?
No, ma'am.
And if you were released, who would you be living with?
My grandmother.
Does she want you living with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you talked to her and she said she wants you living with her?
Yes, ma'am. I have a good support system out there with my family.
All right, you know you're not supposed to have weapons. Why do you have weapons?
I made a mistake, Your Honor.
No, you didn't. You made a choice. So why do you have weapons? You know you're not supposed to have them. A mistake is somebody gave you a bag, you didn't know weapons were in it, and then there were weapons. So why, you know you're not supposed to have weapons. Why are you having weapons?
Hanging with the wrong people.
If I ask the wrong people that you're saying that you're hanging out with, if I were to ask them the same questions, you know what they would tell me? Hanging out with the wrong people. And I would say, well, who is that? And they'd say, Miss Gallegos. All right, I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's to be a TAP evaluation and MIC evaluation in custody. And also a gang evaluation in custody. There's to be 180 hours community service restitution. She's not allowed to buy that out. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And I'm going to ask for the UA hotline. And while you're on probation, you're not allowed to have any weapons. All weapons seized are to be forfeited, along with any magazines and ammunition. And there's to be no contact with Michael Lee Kilgore. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And regular reporting by Zoom or in person of condition number 4, the court could find it guilty. I'm sorry, could find it true. Grant the motion and sentence you up to 5 years in prison and up to $1,000 fine. All right, so why should I follow this agreement? It appears that she hasn't done anything. Has she done anything on probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and then I had a compliance hearing. I always do compliance hearings. If there's an issue, people can come in, tell me what their issue is, and we can get them back on track. So I don't understand why I should continue her.
We're just asking the court consider it, Your Honor.
But I mean, somebody needs to give me a reason why, because she is on probation. She hasn't done anything. And to get her back on track, I set it for a compliance hearing and she did not show. So I don't understand why I should continue her.
I'll ask that I call my client, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jasmine Gallegos.
Are you asking the court to consider release or continue on probation?
Yes, ma'am.
And why is that?
Because I never started it. And I got released and I didn't turn myself back in, but I want to do something better.
All right, do you need to speak up?
I want to do something better in life.
So the reason why you want me to continue you is because you were placed on probation, you were released, and you never did anything. So basically, you're just throwing yourself on the mercy of the court saying, I did nothing, but please continue me.
Do you have a job?
Yes.
Where do you work?
I mean, I was working at the Subway.
Okay, I
Pleasanton,
cannot hear
Texas.
you.
I was working in Subway at Pleasanton, Texas,
And where do you live?
in Pleasanton, Texas with my grandma.
Do you have anybody that you care for?
Yes, my grandma, she's sick right now.
Oh, let's not
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Let's not do this thing where we're bringing in the sick relatives, the baby that nobody else can take care of, because you were supposed to report. Let's do this. This is what can help me understand whether or not I should continue. Let's assume you don't have a sick grandmother, you don't have any sick relatives, you don't have any sick children. It's just you. Why should you be continued on probation? Don't tell me that Subway needs somebody to make sandwiches. Let's assume that Subway doesn't need anybody to make sandwiches. Why should I be continuing you?
Because I want to prove to you that I can do it.
But you have not. But okay, but you want to prove to me that you can do it?
So,
All right. Any other questions?
Is there any other reason why you're asking of the court to continue you on probation?
no,
Do you believe you have a drug problem?
no.
All right, so she don't have a drug problem. Why didn't you report?
Because they wanted me to turn myself back in.
I'm sorry, what?
Because they wanted me to come back and turn myself in.
All right. Why didn't you show up for your compliance hearing? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't know, ma'am.
All right.
Do you have a mental health issue? Have you been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
No.
All right. So I really don't have any reason to continue her. Her whole thing is, I didn't do anything. Don't revoke me. And the court reached, everyone knows, if somebody is falling off track, normally what I do in some situations, Ms. Gallegos, is because maybe sometimes people just fall off track. They just need to realize what they're looking at. And I set compliance hearings. And I'm not even going to consider, I set compliance hearings twice for you. The state only went on one, so I'm not even considering the other. But a compliance hearing was set for you to try to get you back on track to see, hey, is there something we're missing here? Is there something you need in order to be successful? And you didn't even show up for the compliance hearing. The compliance hearing was a step before your motion to revoke. Because I had a choice at that time. I always get notices from probation. They'll tell me how a probationer is doing. If there are some issues, I will always usually check compliance hearing. Let's bring that person in and find out what's going on. And you didn't even show up for that. So I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. Everybody who's in custody will come before me when they're in custody and say to me, I want to prove to you I can do it. But, you know, history has shown that you can't because you didn't. So I don't know why I should continue you. So I don't know if you want to talk to her, but I don't have a reason for why she didn't show up. Okay. All right. I'm not going to follow this proposed agreement. I don't think she's a good candidate for probation. She hasn't done anything. And she's been given opportunities to do things and she just refuses. And based upon her testimony, she didn't want to come back because she didn't want to turn herself in. I don't know what to do with that.
If the court were to grant your request for continued probation and the TAP evaluation, would you comply with the conditions of the TAP
Yes, ma'am.
and any recommendations thereof?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you also comply with any conditions of the gang ISP evaluation
Yes, ma'am.
as well as the mental health?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, my client's throwing herself on the mercy of the court and we're requesting that the court continue her on probation.
All right, so under under direct examination, she stated she doesn't have any mental health issues, so that's not an issue. And now I'm being thrown at that there may be gang issues with her. And part of the plea bargain agreement was, in this case, she was to forfeit weapons, magazines, and ammunition. So she was placed on community supervision for that, and she has done nothing. Court is finding violation of condition number 4 true. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's $1,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. I'll recommend, if she stated she doesn't have any drug issues, she doesn't have mental health issues, but I'll recommend the therapeutic community or the mental health unit at the prison. You'll have to recommend it as well because I have no jurisdiction. And if they discover that you do have a mental health issue, then they will take care of it there. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to start making better decisions. If you continue to pick up felonies in Texas, they're gonna start labeling you as a repeater or a habitual. If you're a repeater, that means your range of punishment level is gonna go up by one level. And if you're habitual, in some cases, your minimum is gonna be 25 years at the prison. You have some choices you're gonna need to make. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and when you're released from prison, if you need help with anything, you can always come back here if I'm here, okay? Good luck to you. Denzel Apia, good morning.
Judge, this case is set on tomorrow's docket.
Yeah.
We have an agreement with the pretrial diversion. We've submitted the application to the prosecutor's office. So I was just seeing if we could move this for a couple weeks until he's accepted, so he doesn't miss more work. It's
All
set for
right, your
tomorrow.
client needs to sign a reset form. So are you gonna be
Your Honor, my client has been struggling with some substance abuse issues for some time now. She was deemed eligible and screened eligible for an Alpha home. We would ask that she be allowed that opportunity to be transferred into that facility so she can gain the skills that she needs to be successful on probation, Your Honor. She did recently just have a newly born child. She did have that child while she was in custody. So really opened her eyes up to the fact that she wants to be a good mother for her child. And she does, and she wants treatment. She wants to work on herself so she can provide a better life, not only for herself, but for her child as well.
All right. How many children do you have? I'm sorry, what are their ages?
5, 3. 5, 3, 2, and my neighbor.
All right. Where are your children?
My grandmother has.
All right, so your grandmother is now mother to a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, and a newborn. How old is your grandmother?
She is 64. She turned 65 today.
All right, that's a lot to put on her because you're not doing your job.
I realized that.
Where are their fathers?
Not in the picture at the moment.
Well, where are they though? Where are they located?
My newborn's father is located here at Bombay County, and
When you say Bear County, do you mean the Bear County Jail or the newborn's father is in custody?
and my 2 middle children, their father is not around, and
And where is he?
he's
MIA? Dismissed, okay. And the 5-year-old?
he has never been in the picture since she was born.
How far did you go in school?
8th grade, 9th grade.
All right, why didn't you graduate?
I dropped out, started doing drugs when I was 15.
How old were you?
15.
Is Child Protective Services involved? Who's your Child Protective Services attorney?
They just opened a new case again, so I don't know yet.
All right, so were your rights terminated to your 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 2-year-old?
Yes, I gave my rights to my grandma,
Okay.
to my mom.
Have you ever had employment?
When I was sober, yes.
Doing what?
I worked at a Mexican restaurant, mostly fast food.
Okay. And who is Brianna Lynn Lopez to you?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, she's the person who was in the vehicle.
Oh, that's just a friend of mine. Oh, friend that I had when I was on drugs.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is. Is this her first case? Or has she had other cases?
Your Honor, she has a previous conviction for assault of a public officer.
All right.
She was placed on probation on that one, Judge, but she wasn't given the chance for treatment. So essentially, she was revoked on that probation because she was afraid that if she would go and test, she would test positive. So she basically absconded. But it seems like they weren't dealing with her issues then, and they just wanted to place her on probation and just ignore the fact that she has some deep-rooted issues that we're trying to help her out with.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 6 years. TAP evaluation, that can be done while she's in custody. I wrote a referral to felony drug court and a referral to Alpha Home custody. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or minors. And when I say no unsupervised contact with minors, I know how it works when people have CPS cases. They end up getting somebody else who's in CPS care. And that person says, oh, I need you to babysit my children. You are not allowed to babysit anybody's children. Do you understand?
Yes.
Here's the thing. You've had all these children, and each time you've had a child, you had a chance to learn that one, you shouldn't be doing drugs, and because you brought children into the world, you got to take care of them. You can't just leave them at Travis Park and say, good luck to you, right? And children don't choose their parents, but now you're a parent. So you need to make a decision with your life. Either you're going to be clean and sober and be an upstanding person in their life that they can be proud of, or either you're not. But whatever you do, don't do this thing where you get your children's hopes up that mom is going to be clean and sober, mom's going to be in their life, and then the next thing you know, you're back to doing drugs, because they don't understand. It breaks their heart each time. And the other thing you need to understand is you have a lot of suitcases. It's called baggage, right? I think children are a great thing, but some people see them as suitcases. So each one of those children, and the reason why I say it's suitcases and it's baggage, because you need to be careful about who you bring into their lives. Like, who wants to carry all those suitcases? So you got your felony convictions. You got the fact that right now you don't have your education, but I know you're going to get that. You have it right now, your substance abuse issues, but I know you're telling me you're going to take care of that, and you have all of your children. That's a lot of suitcases for somebody else to carry. And I say that because I've seen it time and time again, where people, women and men, are doing great on their plan. And then guess what? They think they've met a great guy. They think they met a great woman. And then the next thing you know, they're back to the same way. Don't be that person, because your children are dependent on you. You understand? And their grandmother, your mom, is depending on you. All right, good luck to you.
Got a reference to one matter.
Yes.
I know you said 2/6, 6 years probation. For state jail, isn't the max 5-year probation?
Oh, it is. It is.
Um,
So 5. If I could give you more, I would. Yeah, it is 5.
But thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, why would I go along with that? She's been missing. And didn't I previously order Alpha Home?
There were some issues, Judge. She is in a different place at this moment as far as.
What were the
her-
issues with Alpha Home? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I'm just.
All right, I ordered her to be released to Alpha Home only. So first question, were you released to Alpha Home?
Yes, John.
All right, so why were you
I
not unsuccessful?
started using again after I was there. It was really a good program. I got in touch with the people I shouldn't have got in touch with, and I relapsed.
All right, I don't see why I should follow this agreement because she was in a good program. This is not a situation where there's some miscommunications on my orders. She was ordered into Alpha Home. I did not allow her to be released to go on her own to Alpha Home. What I did was I ordered her to be transferred from custody to Alpha Home. She was. And then what the state has just read to me, she has been missing since July of 2023. So I don't understand why I should continue her.
Well, Judge, I've had an opportunity to talk with her about her situation now. She's a little older and a little wiser, and she understands her situation. From the beginning, when I first talked to her, she was reaching out for help. She's serious about it. Sometimes it doesn't ring true, and I appreciate, Judge, your willingness to help her at that time. Drugs are hard. You know the story, that it's sometimes difficult to face, and it takes, you gotta hit rock bottom, it's gotta hit you. Sitting in jail, she's come to that understanding, that place where I think she's in a position where she understands that she needs help. That was the first thing she ever said to me when I spoke with her.
Yes, when I was out there in the streets, I learned a lot and it was way harder on me. I had like lost myself. I thought I was losing my mental state. Using like it was to the point where I started feeling like I was crazy. And I was in the streets. My mom didn't, I never
I'm
had.
sorry, you were where?
In the street, like in the streets. I was living from like house to house or whatever, and I kind of learned this past time, like I'm not not willing to do that again. Like I don't want to do that. I hit rock bottom. When I came in here, I was like, you could see my bones from my face. I don't want to go through that again. I kind of it wasn't me when I came back in here, but I really want help. They always end up sending me to like lockdown facilities, but I really love the Alpha Home. The Alpha Home was
Oh, let me just tell you, you're not going back to the Alpha Home.
okay.
That's out of the question.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to a lockdown facility because obviously being at the Alpha Home, if I were to continue, you would be going to a lockdown facility. These are your choices. And do you deserve these choices I'm about to give you? Probably not, because you've been missing since 2023. But I'm taking in consideration the nature of the case that you're on probation for and the fact that you have someone who needs their restitution paid. So this is what's going to happen. You are either going inpatient treatment at a lockdown facility or felony drug court, or I can sentence you today and I'll sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Those are your choices. Those are the only choices you have. Do not ask me about outpatient treatment. Do not ask me if you can do it on your own. Those are the only choices you have. Yeah, I don't know who's making these recommendations. She's been gone since 2023.
Yes, Judge.
All right. See what offenses probation is speaking of. Because if she has open cases, there's
Familiar with those.
what is the open case?
Assault, peace officer, harassment, public servant, Your Honor.
All right. And so when y'all are making these offers, why do you all think that I do not need to know this? Because nobody told me that she has open pending cases. What is happening with these? I've just been given this. What is happening with these open pending cases?
They're subject to review and haven't been presented to the grand jury. We talked about this the last time we were here. We were not going to, I know you didn't want to get involved in plea negotiations.
Because there was supposed to be a contested hearing today.
That was on the MTR because of the circumstances, but we've come to an agreement. Different prosecutor, we were able to have a meeting of the minds.
And Judge, the supervising officer is present today.
Did y'all even confer with the supervising officer before y'all reach y'all agreement? Did anybody talk to the person who was subpoenaed to be here?
I didn't subpoena.
Why would you all approach me? And I keep saying, talk to probation, and this is a contested hearing, and probation has brought this officer here who's needed back, looking at other people. You all need to go confer with her. Go confer with her.
Go have a seat, ma'am.
All right, so the court was not aware of certain things about this case before the court gave you your options. One, the court was not made aware that you had 2 open pending cases. So what I can tell you is this, because you have 2 open felony cases, no inpatient treatment facility will accept you. So have you all reached an agreement on anything else, counsel?
Yes,
All right, and
defer to prosecutor.
state.
Adjudicating guilt, assess punishment at 6 months of confinement.
All right, so what they're requesting now is that they're asking that the court rescinds its previous ruling and that you be sentenced to 180 days in the state jail facility. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you, with regards to these other 2 cases, the harassment and the assault on the peace officer, state, when are you expecting for that to be properly investigated to see whether or not it's going to be indicted, or are they going to be rejected?
I don't know when they'll be indicted, but I seriously doubt they would be rejected, Your Honor.
All right. So,
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting. As a practical matter, perhaps it might be better to sentence under 1244A.
no, I will not be doing that. She hasn't reported since 2023. So here's my next question. With regards to these 2 other cases, again, they'll probably hold her at the jail because it's going to show these 2 cases are open before they transfer her to the state jail facility. We're going to recall these 2 cases. State, you all need to make a decision on whether or not you're going to seek indictment or not. I don't know how the system is run upstairs, who is over whether or not these cases are indicted, which prosecutor it will be. But we're going to call this back. And counsel, you're able to be here January 19th?
Yes,
All right, we're
let
gonna
me check the date, just to make sure.
the court's question. On some documentation, her name is Trejo Hernandez. On others, it is Hernandez Trejo. So are you Hernandez Trejo or Trejo Hernandez? All right. Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with harassment of a public servant? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Judge, if you recall, Ms. Trejo, Hernandez Trejo was at Alpha House, and there was a motion to revoke her probation. And that was cleared. The recommendation at the time was if we had cleared this case that was outstanding unindicted, they were willing to take her back. So, and I want to thank the prosecution for recalling Ms. Trejo's situation and recommending that she be placed on a mental health caseload because there are issues with her mental health. I had received the standard form from the jail indicating upon her evaluation at the jail, they report her as post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and anxiety disorder. So that being said, Alpha House is, I'm sure you're
Yes.
aware of Alpha House. And she was doing well at Alpha House. She relapsed, and that got her into this situation that we're in front of the court today. But I want to thank the prosecution for recognizing the presence of Alpha House. Ms. Trejo wants to return there. She did well there. She appreciates their approach to things, and she believes she can be successful there. And ask that you permit her to do that. I realize all you can do is recommend, because they would have to clear.
What the court is going to do. Court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, a MIC evaluation, transfer from the Bear County Jail to Alpha Home. There's should be 100 hours of community service restitution. You go off the record. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, let me knock on the back and see if they're ready back there. Casablanca, why are you not submitting your UA?
I don't have money. I
All right,
get,
so when you're
I get
drug tested to,
I get $150 a month. That's all I get. I don't have any money. Like, I did the classes she asked me because that's all I could afford. Literally, I get $150 a month because child support takes the rest of it. Right now, I'm fighting for my VA. I got wounded in Iraq. I got shot in my leg and my buttocks. I'm fighting for my VA benefits because when the case first started, it started as a felony. And they canceled my benefits because of the fact that it was a felony case. Until February 17th is my last thing for the VA to dispute my thing because it's not a felony charge. It's a misdemeanor charge. So I have to get my checks back.
all right, so here's my question. When you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
CBD. I'm not gonna lie, CBD, because I don't take
All right, so
meds.
why are you, here's the thing, people find money for things that they shouldn't find money for. I always tell people, if it's important, you treat it like it's important. So you're gonna get drug tested today, and we're gonna see what the results are.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not getting off of probation early
Okay.
because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Now, if you can find money for CBD all and all of that, you can find money for your drug testing. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if too much money is being taken out of your check for child support, then you need to get another job.
I can't get a job. I'm wounded from Iraq. Like literally, I got shot in my leg and my buttocks. If I try to get a job, I get in trouble for all the payment that they've already given me. They're gonna file a back pay for it. That's the only reason
See,
I
I don't
can't work.
understand. And here's the thing, I respect the military. Majority of my family members have been in military. I don't understand the fact that someone is shot in the leg, that they get benefits. That means they don't work anymore. I don't understand that. I don't understand who someone gets shot in the butt gets benefits, they don't work anymore. I can understand the government saying, okay, we're gonna give you benefits for this, but we will also allow you to work. But you're getting drug tested today, and we're gonna see what the results are going to be. And if there is something in the drug test other than what you told me, a motion to revoke is gonna be filed.
That's fine.
In addition, Your Honor, he's documented as a home gang member. However, he has declined and said that he's not affiliated with the gang, the gang. And so because of the documentation, probation is asking that you amend for the gang ISP unit. And other issues that the probation officer is claiming that she's having is that he tends to become very upset and displays emotional instability when she tries to talk to him about his conditions, very disrespectful, and so forth.
Why are you being disrespectful?
Ma'am, I hung up on her one time because they
That's
came.
disrespectful.
Yeah, because they came and like my mom was outside and cops jumped out with guns in their hands. And they're like, well, where's Antonio? Where's Antonio? Because they think a red truck is mine. Because I was sitting in the red truck. The first time they came, I was sitting in the red truck cleaning it. It's my dad's work truck. When they came, they caught me in the red truck. They think it's mine. It's not my truck. They can run the VIN. My truck is a
No,
Ford
here's the
Flex
thing. Let me
that's
just tell you what
broken.
you're doing. You are answering questions that I have not asked. So I want you to listen to the question that I'm asking you, and I want an answer for it. You understand?
Yes.
So number one, are you a gang member?
No, ma'am.
So why do they have you documented?
They have me down affiliated as a gang member because they say this is the Alamo and it's the White House, ma'am. Look, it's the White House. It's not the Alamo. It's the White House. I don't have no gang affiliate. I can show you all my tattoos. I don't have no gang
Why are you
affiliated
tattooing
tattoos.
the White House? on your
Because
neck?
my last name is Casablanca, ma'am, and if you translate it in English, it's White House.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Anybody, any other Casablancas here who are tattooing White House on their, I still
That's-
don't understand.
That's
that.
the only reason, ma'am. I can show you all my
I
tattoos.
already, and I know
I've never
what
been to,
CASA means.
I've never
and I
been
know
to
what Blanca
prison.
means.
I've never been to prison. How would I be in a gang if I never been to prison? Like,
Oh, there are plenty people who are in gangs who've never been to prison?
Like, that's a gang, that's a prison gang, like,
No, they have people in prison who are documented gang members with that gang, but then they have people who are not in prison who are documented gang
well,
members.
I'm not a gang member. I like I said, it's the White House. Y'all can check it. It's not the Alamo. They keep thinking it's the Alamo. That's why it got put down as that, but it's not an Alamo, man.
Whoever tattooed that White House, that is not a good depiction.
It
It's
was a
missing
long
some.
time ago. Like, it's actually just covering my ex-wife's name. That's why I put it there, really, but
Well,
it's
that's
not.
another thing I always tell people, the
It's
only
not
people's
a
names
gang
you should
affiliation
tattoo on your
tattoo.
body are maybe your children and your mom, because your mom will always love you and your children, you're always supposed to love them. You're gonna do a UA today. You're gonna stop being disrespectful to probation officers. You're not gonna be hanging up on probation officers. Otherwise, I'm gonna hang up on you with a motion to revoke. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I want him to do his UA today, and then we're gonna see what the results are gonna be. And then based upon those results, we'll see where we're going with this. But yes, he is going to be on gang supervision. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to continue you or place you on gang supervision. And he's going to do the UA hotline. I want him tested for levels.
Can we wait till my legal people are here, my
Oh,
lawyer?
this is what I'm ordering. You don't have a motion to revoke, so.
Okay.
There's gonna be gang supervision, the UA hotline, test him for levels. And are you all doing field visits on him or no?
They've been going to my house, but when they go, I'm not home because I go to college.
And what are you studying in college?
I'm going for business management, Your Honor.
Which college?
St. Philip's College. This is my last semester. I graduate in May.
How many hours are you taking a semester?
I think it's like 17 hours, 16 or 17 hours semester.
Mhm.
This semester is my last class, so I only have like one or 2 hours. Like it,
Well, you need to provide proof to probation that you're at college.
I've given my probation officer my college classes, my actual schedule. I've given her what time I'm home. I leave her messages when I go to community service. And it's still like when they come, they don't leave when they haven't left. The first time he came, he caught me in the truck. He told me if he comes, he's gonna leave a card, and he hasn't left a card every time he's come.
Right.
And then that's why my probation officer, me and my probation officer I got upset because she's like, oh, now you have to go do a notary letter. And I'm like, I don't have time for that right now. I have a kid that I take care of by myself. I go to school, like, just because he didn't catch me here, I don't have time to go do like that paperwork.
All right, so here's the thing. You're gonna have to do paperwork.
I don't have
That's part
time
of your
for it. Like,
probation.
I don't have
Well,
time
if you go
for
to prison, will you have time to do it?
it. It's a misdemeanor charge, ma'am.
Well, if you go to the Bear County Jail, will you have time to do it?
No.
So there you go.
This is gonna be the same thing. So I'll
Yeah,
just,
so you'll be at the Bear County Jail.
That's
So that means that you need to follow through with conditions of probation. There are consequences for action. You're on probation for deadly conduct, right? So, no, stop. You're on probation. People want their lives to be the same as though they were not on probation. And you know what? If you didn't have a deadly conduct charge, you could go live your life however you want to live it, but you do, and you're on probation in this court. So what that means is, number one, you're not going to be upset and angry with the probation officer because the probation officer is doing their job. And
That's
guess
fine.
what? Their job really doesn't rotate around your schedule. If they're doing a field visit at a certain time, you need to be there for that field visit. End of story.
I'm not on any kind of curfew or anything. So why do I gotta stay home all day? I mean, I go to school. That makes no sense. If I have a timing for school, why do I gotta be at home when I'm supposed to be at school?
Because you're on probation.
But I
What
don't
I'm
have a
telling
curfew.
you is when they do a field visit, you need to be at the house for that field visit. End of story. I'm not having an argument with you. I'm telling you, these are the rules. That's where we are. When crimes are committed, there are consequences for that. Your consequence is that you're on probation. And when you're on probation, there are conditions of probation that I set, and I expect people to follow them. Probation is not going to be able to come to your house around your schedule necessarily. End of story. Is there anything else that he needs?
No, Your Honor, I just wanted to answer your question as far as
Yes.
the field visits. You did mandate 2 times a month,
Yes,
so that's what's happening.
yes, that's what I want.
Still won't be-
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, I still won't be there if I have school.
Oh, well, then a motion to revoke will be
That's fine
filed.
with me.
Well, I'm glad it's fine with you because that's what's going to happen. All right, you can have a seat. They're going to go over conditions with you. With this, it's an issue of him not participating in gang supervision.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And the issue possibly of the UAs.
Why are you not submitting?
I've been calling and they haven't called me to submit, Your Honor. I've been doing the number, they have me on the IBR or IDR. I call every day, every morning at 8 o'clock, and it has not told me to go in and submit it.
All right, so we're going to do a UA today.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll do a
Well-
UA today.
Your Honor, so the last time we were here in court, we did a UA, it was positive for THC. We were on the IVR line for him to test for levels. For the system, the IVR line asked him to test on Friday. And it said missed test. We can do the test here, but he's already said that it's probably gonna be positive.
Okay.
So in order to get a baseline on where he is with his testing, we can send him over to the Recovery Healthcare Center.
All right, so I want him sent over to Recovery Healthcare Center today. There are not to be any missed UAs anymore. With regards to the gang affiliation, you're on gang supervision. They say you're a gang member. If you want to get an attorney in here, then that attorney can be in here. But I will tell you, you're on deferred adjudication for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The range of punishment for that offense, if you're revoked, is up to 20 years in prison. So either you want to be on gang supervision, or either what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed, and they're going to say, one, you're not doing your UAs, and two, you're supposed to be on gang supervision and you're not. And then if you have an attorney and your attorney comes in and your attorney shows the court that probation is wrong, you are not a gang member, then I will hear that and I will listen to it. But what I'm telling you is I'm ordering that you be on gang supervision, and I'm ordering you to not miss any more hotline calls for UAs. So you can either sign for gang supervision and do it or not do it. If you choose not to do it, what will end up happening is a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest. You're going to have to make a bond. Either you're going to make that bond or not. If you don't make that bond, you'll be in the box in orange. We'll bring you out. We'll either have a contested hearing or not. Either you'll plead true or not. And then if I find that it is true, I'll make a decision on whether or not to continue you or whether or not to sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. That's what you're looking at. All right, is there anything else?
Your Honor, he completed a life skills test that was on our approved list for cognitive behavioral vendors,
Mhm.
but the certificate doesn't say cognitive behavioral. I just want to make it clear to the court that he did complete the class, and with your permission, give him full credit for it.
All right, I'll give him credit for that.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
The only thing I don't know, Your Honor, where to do is do your service. Probation hasn't told me.
I'll give you a list.
She's going to give you a list.
And that'll be the only thing that's left for $800.
He did make a substantial payment, and I'll make sure in the UA hotline that everything is working properly for him to be notified for his UAs.
All right. This is the last time I'm going to address the UA hotline issue. This is the last time I'm going to address gang supervision issues, and I'm writing on the docket sheet that it has been addressed. Is there anything else? All right, thank you.
On it, Your Honor. I think the agreement is that he be revoked. The state is asking the court to sentence him to 1 year in the Bear County Jail. And I'll let defense.
All right,
And
defense.
Judge, that's correct. We're just asking the court consider sentencing him, performing the sentence to 6 months. Mr. Vegas makes no excuses for what he did, made a choice, quite frankly. He missed, and then he got scared and chose not to keep coming back in. He's had a lot of time to think about it, Judge. He's been sitting in jail now for about 61 days, 62 days. And he's determined, given his circumstances, that it's best to grant the motion at this point and assess some jail time. He would just ask the court consider reforming the sentence to the 6 months as opposed to the year.
All right, anything you wish to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you
Yes.
raise your right hand?
Right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
David Villegas.
Yes, what would you like to say?
I would like to say thank you for the offer of probation. I did relapse on alcohol, and which gave me I'm gonna be truthfully and honest with you. And that's the reason why I didn't go report. I was going through a little bit of difficulty in life, and my choice was to look for a way out with drinking, and that was my choice, which led to I didn't report. So I just wanted to be honest with the court. You know what? So after this, I'm able to go back to living my regular life and able to work and be a, positive, productive member of society.
But you cannot go back to living your regular life because your regular life is gang affiliation and it's drugs. And from when my mind is a steel trap. When I first sentenced you, from that day to now, you are looking a little bit worse for wear because you've lost more weight and you're using more than just alcohol.
That's correct, ma'am. I did relapse on methamphetamine.
Well, no, I mean, you just threw out alcohol. You didn't say anything about meth. So you have an issue. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a choice. Here are your choices. Let me see how long you've been on.
About 2 years, Judge.
All right. I can continue you and send you to SATA. But I'm not sure. Vashawn, will SATA take him for gang affiliation? Ah.
That's been part of the problem, Judge.
Is there any place else that would take him? Because he's on misdemeanor probation and he only has about a year remaining. Yeah, we can't extend him. That's a problem. Will ISF take him?
No, Your Honor. State ISF, yes, Your Honor, they'll take them.
All right. So you have a choice, and this is your choice. One, if you truly want help with your drug problem, then I will send you to state ISF. I will continue you. Or two, I will sentence you in the Bexar County Jail to 1 year. Either way, your time is going to pass. So which would you prefer?
I prefer to get help, ma'am.
Okay.
He will need to be extended for that program as well.
We can't extend him.
So even if we just do the one track, it's just not enough time left on his probation for them to consider it.
Okay.
I am checking with someone over at Lifetime
Mhm.
to see if they would accept him with the gang status. So I'm just waiting for her to get back to me.
All right.
She's verifying it right now.
We'll wait, because if he can't go to inpatient, then I'm going to have to revoke you. So they'll see if Lifetime Recovery will accept him inpatient.
Okay, Judge.
All right, so just give us a moment. She's going to check on that. And counsel, if you want to talk to him about it and explain to him about Lifetime Recovery.
I'll explain. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so just give us a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Villegas, Lifetime Recovery will accept you into their inpatient treatment program. So you have a choice. I can sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, or I can send you to Lifetime. Which would you prefer?
Oh, what's the wait on the Lifetime, ma'am?
What's the wait?
I'll
Up to
take-
2 weeks.
I'll take recovery, man.
All right, see, here's the thing. When people say, what's the wait time? Then that makes me wonder if you're really prepared for recovery. Because if you're really prepared for recovery, the wait time can be whatever the wait time will be. So are you sure this is something you wish to do?
Your Honor, yes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
All right. So I'll deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include lifetime recovery. Defendant is to remain in custody until transported to lifetime. Anything else you need from the court to be successful?
To tell you the truth, I would just like to take whatever is offered within like parenting classes,
Oh, I've already ordered that.
or I just want to get my life back on track, man.
Okay. All right, we can go off the record. Lifetime Recovery is going to accept you. Do not bring that gang nonsense to their doorstep. Do you understand?
I understand you.
And if there is any type of issue that occurs where you're bringing drugs to Lifetime Recovery, we're going to have an issue. Do you understand?
I understand you.
All right. All right, good luck
Thank
to
you,
you.
Your Honor.
You're welcome.
In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Davis Alexander Villegas, defendant there failed to participate in the lifetime recovery treatment program in violation of condition number 42.
How do you call one of his relatives to testify?
Sure.
Have a hand going up. Of the three of them, one has volunteered.
All right, you'll need to step over there. So. Good afternoon. Can you state your name, please?
My name is Amanda Villegas.
All right, Ms. Villegas, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. What is your relationship to Davis?
I'm his older sister.
So counsel has informed the court about you all placing him in an Uber.
Yes, ma'am.
What's been going on with him?
I think there's just been a lot of grief since my dad passed away. It's been hard. And I think the lack of support at the time that we had, it was just me and my brother. And so I think now that we have a lot more community around us, my mom's in our life again, and she has a wonderful husband. And that alone has helped my brother so much in wanting to be a better father and to be a better brother and better son and to make my dad proud.
All right. So with regards to this case, what is the plan with Davis?
So we, as a family, we live together. Our goal is to help him either get his GED, to help him find a job so he can be a productive member of society. We do want to see him get some therapy so that way he can deal with the issues that he's had that have been, affecting him in his life.
All right, when you say we live together, does that mean that he is living with you all?
That is correct.
Right, and who's all in the household?
It's me, my mom, and her husband.
Any children in the household?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what's happening with Hannah Barnes?
No, I do not.
Counsel, any questions?
Tell the judge who else is here with you.
Yeah, my mom and her husband are here with me today.
The folks we've been talking about.
Okay.
Just so you know. And by proffer, they would from pretty much the same thing.
All right, so if he's not taking his medications, what is the plan?
Honestly, Judge, I'm a big advocate for just helping keep his mind, body, and soul right. We go when we work out, we try to do things like eat right, we spend time with our family, and I think those things alone do help in helping with, his issues.
Right. So any further questions, defense?
Nothing from me, Judge.
State any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for
Sorry.
coming down. All right.
I believe that you would hear the same thing from the defendant's mother, perhaps more teary-eyed.
Okay.
And I don't think it would benefit the court.
All right.
It has been confirmed he did.
Right. So based upon the length of time you've been on probation, the court is going to grant the motion to revoke. So you are going to be revoked. The only question is, how much time do I give you? When I look at probation cases, I want to know, 1, did you complete any conditions? 2, have you picked up any new cases? 3, have you not harmed a complainant? And the fact that in here, it says no harmful or injurious contact with Hannah Barnes. Let me see if I ordered something different. Yeah, I ordered a no contact with her. So can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, but nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
David Alexander Villegas,
All right, when's the last time you seen Hannah Barnes?
over 2 years ago.
So there's no plan to continue to be with her?
No, ma'am, I haven't seen her in over 2 years.
All right, who's at the gate? Oh, that's his client. Sorry. All right, and how much time do you have in at the jail?
I think they told me 106 days, Judge. I know it was over 100. I don't remember if it was 106 or 108 because my mind became foggy.
Well, part of sentencing, part of it is punishment. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding violation of condition number 42 true. Court will revoke. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, give you credit for any time served, and the court will sentence you to 110 days in the Bexar County Jail. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal of the jail is. So it'll probably be midnight.
I'll make sure everybody's on standby. May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may be excused. You're going to have to do better.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Take care of yourself.
Last setting, I had made a counter offer to Jason.
Excuse me.
Stand up, go over there.
No, not stand up, go over there. She's excused from the court unless she's on the docket. And if she's on the docket, she needs to go into custody. No, we can't have that. That's okay. Here's the thing. Excuse me, miss. Miss. All right, so let me explain something to you. I understand. All right, but we can't have that in court because when that happens in court, you know what ends up happening? Everybody gets angry and then the next thing you know, they're fighting. All right, so are you able to stay calm and composed? All right, so you're gonna have a seat on this side on the back row, okay? You're welcome, but go on the back row, miss. I'm sorry.
No problem. When we
We try not to have things like that happen in court. All right, so.
All right, when we were last here, I gave Jason a counter offer.
Mhm.
And we're kind of like, I don't really know exactly what's going on because he did communicate that to David Lunan, who basically said, well, we might be able to convince Mr. Gonzalez to.
No, I don't want, I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to say that we don't have a plea bargain. We don't not have a plea bargain.
If you don't mind, I might be able to.
Yes.
I think what we're asking for is like maybe another week or so that the counter offers can go back and forth, Your Honor, and that could be allowed, because this would be a case that would be set off probably closer to July or so, because it is a capital and a murder associated with this individual. So I think that if that's amenable to make.
I mean, as long as we can start to get some sort of solid footing, because basically what's been happening, and I understand, is I say this and they say, well, maybe, and then they offer me something.
All
He
right,
says,
so
well,
this is what's
maybe.
gonna happen.
You know?
What's gonna happen is the last date for a plea deadline date in this case is going to be January 23rd. After that, it's going to trial if agreement's not worked out.
Thank
If, somebody upstairs wants to come down and be a part of the conversation, they can come down and be part of the conversation. But the 23rd is the last day. And after that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, there'll have to be a plea open to the court.
And I understand that, Judge. The only thing that I would ask is maybe if the DA's office could be instructed to maybe let me know before the 23rd, so we don't walk in on the 23rd and now we have some offer and he gets 5 minutes to think about it.
I'll get with Ms. Kramer probably in the next couple of weeks or so, right after probably the first of the year.
All righty.
Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Maybe
thank you.
excused.
Yes, you may be excused.
Judge, on that, they filed a discovery on November 8th.
Well,
I'm not an attorney. I don't know if that's a complete discovery. I've never seen it.
All right, so, are they related to this case? All right, so, all right, so, all right, so here's the thing. People from either side are not allowed back in the courtroom. That's what I'm gonna have to do, because we're not gonna have a brawl in the 187 district court. So, no. So this is what's gonna happen. If there's somebody, if there ends up being an agreement and there's a victim impact statement, that's why we have Zoom. So people don't have to come in. So the defendant's family is not gonna be allowed in the courtroom. If they're testifying, it's gonna be by Zoom. If it's a jury trial, of course, we'll need them here. But nobody's family is allowed to come back in the courtroom on this case. They can testify by Zoom. All right, thank you. The final plea deadline date.
So this is the situation, Judge. At the last sitting, we conveyed, since this is a capital, our offer to the state. And then Jason needed to meet with Mr. Gonzalez to see if what would happen with that. He did convey to me yesterday their counter offer to my offer. So I've discussed that with Mr. Martinez. And we're contemplating possibly countering back a different number. So there's that. And so, I mean, I feel like we're still kind of in plea negotiations for it to be a final plea deadline date.
Mhm.
And then also, this is not Mr. Garahan's fault. I kept talking to him about a certain piece of evidence that just doesn't seem to be anywhere in my murder file. And he agreed, and then he finally did find it over at the lab, and he did get that to me today. Well, that does change kind of a lot of what I had been talking about with my client based on this not new evidence, but new evidence kind of to us. And I told Jason that probably causing me to need to get a specific type of an expert appointed. So I just feel like we're still kind of wavering amongst, I mean, I know we're getting close to either a number that we're all going to agree to or go to trial. We're just not quite there yet.
All right, this is being set for trial. We've been back so many times on a plea deadline date. So I need a trial setting. Y'all want to discuss the trial date?
Sure, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.